and welcome to the IBM Cognos Analytics Coffee Shop Demos. My name is Sasha Maybury, and in this series of videos, we're going to be analysing the performance of a fictitious chain of coffee shops by stepping into the shoes of key sales and marketing personnel. In this video, I'm going to take on the persona of a customer relations manager who is going to use IBM Cognos Analytics data modules to create a trusted, easy-to-use business model for user self-service analytics and reporting. Each month, our systems generate a selection of data that can be used by a range of different staff members to achieve their goals. We were drowning in spreadsheets before we invested in Cognos Analytics. I'm going to show you how we can combine different data sources such as spreadsheets, databases, and other existing data models in Cognos' web-based data modeling capability, data modules, to get it ready for all the great dashboarding, reporting, exploration, and storytelling that we have been demonstrating. Data modeling in Cognos Analytics needs no scripting and is accessible to business users, which is why, as the customer relationship manager, I was also part of the team that created the data module. I'm going to show you how we provided a trusted, easy-to-use business model for user self-service analytics and reporting that is enriched with the key calculations the business needs, such as spoilage, relative times such as year-to-date, current month, and so on, and easy navigation to answer the who, what, when, where, why questions for my business. This folder contains all the files of data that I want to analyse using Cognos Analytics. I've compressed the folder into a zip file, and I can start by simply bringing that into Cognos Analytics and uploading it either to my content, straight into a data module, straight into an exploration, or straight into a dashboard. In this case, we're going to pick the data module. If I was using any spreadsheets with multiple tabs, these would all be uploaded too as separate tables. Cognos uses its built-in smarts to automatically join the files in the zip file, giving me a great starting point as a user. The file upload is finished, and I can have a look at my relationships diagram. Looking at the joins, I can see which columns it has matched and how it has joined them. Here is the sales outlet ID and how it has been matched with the sales receipts. Refreshing my view will show me the data. I can also view plain English, easy to understand explanations of the join types to make sure I'm using the correct one that I need for my data. I can specify the relationship type, how things relate to each other in terms of cardinality, and whether I want to apply some additional filtering. During the file upload, Cognos Analytics has looked at the data and automatically assigned appropriate data types. For example, recognizing dates and times, and measures such as number of orders and quantity. And I can preview the data in the files using the grid. I can add in key calculations that we need, such as spoilage expense, taking the waste from pastry inventory and multiplying that by my current retail price. Giving it a title, changing it to a multiplication. I can also do some more advanced calculations and pick from a range of different functions available with information on how to use the various functions. In this case, I want to multiply the number of units wasted by their retail cost and add in a weighting to reflect the cost to us, and it's negative as is an expense. I can validate that my calculation is correct and also preview the results, just to double check that it's what I'm expecting. My spoilage expense is now available for me to use. I'd like to do some more granular data analysis, so I'm going to split my date column into its component parts. I want to select year, month, and day, and include the day of the week as well. If I wanted to rename these, I can do that, but let me accept them as they are. These easy-to-use capabilities make business modelling quick and easy for me as the business user. Here we can see the year, the month, and the day have been added, and I can preview the data in my grid. I don't need a calculation to do this. Cognos has the functionality built right in. I can do the same with my time column. We might want to analyse the hours of the day that are the busiest, so we can think about planning promotions and staff shift patterns around these. And there's my hour column. If I wanted to answer a more specific question, Cognos Analytics can help me to create a smaller data module with just the data that I need. This intent-based modelling capability is found under Discover-related tables. I can type in some keywords or select from the keywords listed for me, for example, waste and store, and then view the proposed model. This is especially helpful when you have a database with lots and lots of tables. Next, I'll create a data group to make analysing our product sales easier and take my categories up to a higher level. I want to group together my whole beans and teas, for my coffee beans, my loose tea, and my packaged chocolate. The next group will be beverages and will contain our drinking chocolate, our coffee and our tea. Let's add a food group for our bakery items, and our final group of add-ons will bring together our flavours and our branded items such as mugs. No calculations, no coding required. Let me just move that closer down to the product category. And we can see it here in our grid. Let's do a numeric group as well. On line item amount, we want to understand how much our customers are spending. I'll group my transactions into high, medium and low spend to make it easier for us to analyse our typical customer spending patterns. Cognos Analytics automatically gives me 5 groups. In this case, I only want 3. Low spend, medium spend and high spend for those customers who are spending £6 or less or £10 or more. That transaction spend is now immediately available for me to use, again with no calculations needed. I can easily add in navigation paths to help users follow their train of thought and explore different dimensions in the data, those who, what, when, where, why questions. Let's add a navigation path for our product hierarchy using the new product group that we created here as well. It's simple to create the navigation path. I want to start at product group, then we want product category, product type and product. Now I could add other components here as well. For example, I could add store address, I could add details of my customers and so on. I'm not limited to just the product hierarchy. And I can quickly view which items I use in navigation paths, which will show here as underlined. I can use the built-in relative time to link up my transactions to the Gregorian or fiscal calendar. So I'll be able to analyse sales and orders for the month or year to date, for example, compared to the same period last year. I simply add a source and navigate to the out-of-the-box calendars. I've got options for fiscal and Gregorian calendars and also for calendars that start on the first day of each particular month. So depending on when your year starts, you can pick the calendar most appropriate to your needs. In this case, let's choose the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar is added to my model. All I need to do now is simply link it in. Looking at the transaction date, properties, I'm going to use the Gregorian calendar as a lookup reference. And now you'll see immediately that in my transaction date, I've now got a number of different variations on my relative time. Prior month, quarter, month and year, current month, quarter and year, and prior periods as well as same month, last quarter and other variations on this. The final step is to simply choose which measures I want to have relative time associated with them. For example, here we see quantity and line item amount. I simply tell them to use the transaction date as a lookup reference, and now I've got all of these great variations on the relative time to use in addition to my regular quantity, prior month, prior quarter, and so on. Very quick and very easy. And let's just save our data module. Now before I share my data module with others, I can try it to check it has everything I need. I can then save it to my team content and it's immediately available for everyone to use. The try it launches me into the reporting capability where I can see the data model on the left-hand side. Let's add our prior year quantity and switch to our page preview mode. That's the number that I was expecting. And if we do the same for our prior year line item amount, that's the number I was expecting too. And I can go and apply some default formatting to specify how many decimal places are needed. I'll go back and do that in the model a little bit later on. I can also add a visualization. And you can see here that I can also use the schematics and the custom charts that we saw in the dashboarding. In this instance, let's add a line chart. Going to add line item amount, our hour, and our store address. And not surprisingly, we can see the peak times of activity here in the mornings when people are on their way to work, and a steady flow of different people joining us at various times of day as the day progresses. So other than some formatting, I'm happy that my data module is going to meet the needs of my team. So we've seen how we can use our data modeling in Cognos Analytics to create a trusted, governed data module for all our staff to use. It requires no scripting and enabled me to create the key calculations that the business needs, such as spoilage, add relative time, and custom groups and navigation paths to enrich our analytics. So that brings me to the end of this short demo. For further information on IBM Cognos Analytics, go to ibm.com/Cognos or visit the Cognos Analytics community.